Okay, everybody. This is the multiplying fractions review, quiz review, okay? So I'm going to go through every problem. So if you are at home and you're practicing, like I said the other day, you need to practice. The way we study is we go home and we practice the problems, okay? In this particular question, we're starting number 1. It says, select all the expressions that have 2/3 as a product. Now, I will tell you that you will be allowed to use your factors page that I made for you that has all the factors. You'll be allowed to use your multiplication chart, and you will be allowed to use your multiplication facts. So these are resources that you'll be allowed to use. So what we have to do for number 1 is we have to solve it, because what you're going to have to do for all of these, because you select all the expressions that have 2/3 as a product. Remember, product is an answer to a multiplication problem. So you're going to have to solve everything. Now, I'm going to talk about some things here. I'm going to skip down to the last one real quick. Now, when we are cross simplifying, some of you are really good at this, some of you aren't quite grasping it, but I'm going to review real quick. If you have the same exact digit across from each other, that's the greatest common factor of itself. You would just cross it off. It's out, it's gone, it's eliminated. And essentially you might put a 1 there, if you will. Okay, so then you multiply across. 6 times 1 is 6. 1 times 9 is 9. Now, we have to simplify because, again, all expressions that have 2/3 as a product. So if I'm looking at my factors page, I know that the greatest common factor of 6 and 9 is 3. Okay? Yep. So I get 2/3. Woo! And here I see that's an option. I will tell you, in questions like this, not every single choice is going to be an answer. It's just not the way the world works, unfortunately. Let's go back up to the first one. If, again, cross-simplifying, I see 5 and 5, it's the same number. So we can just eliminate those and put 1s. Now, 4 and 6, the greatest common factor of 4 and 6 is 2. So if I'm dividing both of these by 2, 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 2 times 1 is 2. And then I have 6 divided by 2 is 3. 1 times 3 is 3. I get 2/3 again. That's a choice. Now I have 8 and 9. Now if I were to look at my factors, looking across, 8 and 9, the greatest common factor is 1. So we can't simplify that. And if we look at 7 and 10, the greatest common factor is also 1. Because in this pair, 7 is a prime number, but 7 doesn't go into 10. So we cannot cross-simplify. We can multiply. 9 times 7 is 63. 8 times 10 is 80. Okay? And we do need to simplify this. And if I'm going to pull out my factors page, 63 and 80. Well, I don't have them written down, but we can write them down. 63. We can do 80. And I know that 1, 2, 4, 5, 8, 10. Let's see, 80 divided by 5. Yes, I'm over here using my calculator. You hear it. 80 divided by 5. 16, 20, 40. Let's see what else. Let's see, 80. Whoa. So I thought 40 and 80. Okay. So with these numbers being so big, I would go through and try to see, do any of these go into 63? And if I'm going through, 2 does not, 4 does not, 5 does not, I'm going to guess. I'm going to go, let's see, 63 divided by 8. Nope. But I know I have 1, 3. Nope. Yep. 7, 9, 3 and 21, and 63. So if I'm looking at this, I know it was kind of tedious right here. Oh, yuck. None of them. They don't have a common factor. So this is simplified. So this is not 2/3. So this is not an option. Now I'm going to take my 1/3 times 2/3 over here. Okay. And I'm going to multiply across. 1 times 2 is 2. 3 times 3 is 9. That is not 2/3, not a choice. I'm going to bring my 3/4, and here it is, guys. You do your work everywhere. I want to see this work. I want to see this work because when you're doing your test and at the end and I'm grading it, if you're getting this wrong and I have to talk to a mom or pa or grandparent and say, well, you know, little honeybug didn't show their work, I mean, I don't know what else to do because I can't help you if you don't show your work. So this is 1, this is 4. 3 times 1 is 3. 4 times 4 is 16. 3/16 is not 2/3. So we end up here having our first and last, okay? Look at, and so hang on, but when you go home and study for this, because you won't have these same exact problems, okay? You're going to have to work through, okay? So practice, practice. Number 2, find 3 2/3 times 2 3/4. So you need to convert this to a mixed number. Here's improper fraction. Some of you are still trying to multiply your whole numbers and then multiply your fractions. That will not work. I have never taught you to do that, so you have to stop. You all have notes and a video that tells you how to do this correctly. So I'm going to do it again. I'm going to rewrite my mixed number. 3 2/3. To convert this to an improper fraction, multiply denominator times my whole number, which is 9, plus 2 more is 11. And when I rewrite it, my denominator stays the same. And I feel like you guys are pretty good on that because you always yell it out. Then 2 3/4 as an improper fraction. Again, multiply denominator times the whole number. 4 times 2 is 8. Plus 3 more is 11 again. So times 11. And remember, our denominator stays the same, 4. Okay? Now, 11 times 11 is 121. 3 times 4 is 12. Here's the thing, friends. You have to simplify this. This is not an acceptable answer. If you leave it like an improper fraction, it will be wrong. You need to come over here and divide. 121 divided by 12. 12 goes into 12 once. 1 times 12 is 12. Bring down your 1. My whole number, is that quotient up here, is 1. Remember, my denominator stays the same. So when in doubt, just denominator stays the same. My remainder here is 1. And in this case, it is simplified because the only factor 1 has is itself, and that's what it shares with everybody. Okay, look at number 3. We have done this a bunch, okay? So I am going to walk you through this again because I love you so much, and this is going to be the jam. So first of all, I want you to put a fraction times fraction, okay? We know we are going to be building a multiplication model. The denominators first, okay? Because this is the denominators represent our whole, okay? We gotta get that whole in, okay? So my first denominator is my columns, think standing up and down. So I'm gonna count all the way across. And guys, some of you are like, but what about shaded? Don't worry about shaded yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's my first fractions denominator, okay? Now my rows, 1, 2, 3, okay? This is my second denominator. Now, go back to your columns. I want to know how many columns were shaded. And I'm not saying like double, I'm going at all. So this whole column, see all these are shaded, okay? See, this column is not completely shaded. See, it's kind of blank. So completely shaded are 5 of my columns. Now going to my rows, again, I want to know all the way across what was shaded. Doesn't matter how much, what was it? Was it shaded? 2. Okay, And that's it. That's all you're going to do. You don't have to solve it. You just have to show me the multiplication sentence that this model represents. And we have 5/6 times 2/3. Number 4. A full bag of dog food weighs 6.5 pounds. How much dog food do you have if there are 2 3/4 bags in the cupboard? Okay, so what the question really is, I have 2 3/4 bags in my cupboard, in the pantry, but I want to know how much does it all weigh together? 6.5 pounds per bag. So we're multiplying. I have 6 1/2. I rewrite my problem 2 3/4. You must convert to an improper fraction. Okay, so denominator 2 times the whole number 6. 2 times 6 is 13 plus 1 more. No, Amanda. 2 times 6 is 12 plus 1 more is 13 times. And remember, my denominator stays the same. See that? Denominator times whole number. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 plus 3 more is 11. And remember, my denominator, 4, stays the same. Okay? I'm going to tell you right now, this is going to be ugly, because 11 and 2, they're both prime numbers. And so 1 is the greatest common factor. I can't do anything about that. 13 is prime. And we're looking at the number 4. Number 4 can't go into 13 anyway. And their greatest common factor is 1. So I cannot cross-simplify. Okay, this is where that multiplication chart I gave you comes in, where we goes through 50. You can go and multiply. So 13 times 11 is 143. 2 times 4 is 8. This is not an acceptable answer. Hear me out. You have to convert back to a mixed number. So 143 divided by 8. 8 goes into 14 one time. 1 times 8 is 8. 14 minus 8 is 6. Am I right? Yep. And then I bring down my 3. So 8 goes into 63. 8 times 7. 8 times 8. 8 times 8 is 64. So 8 times 7. 8 times 7 is 54. And I subtract, I get 9. 9 is my remainder. So when I build this again, my whole number is 17. I can't be right. Amanda, 63 minus 54. You know why? You know why? Because 8 times 7 is 56, guys. See, even I make mistakes. It's 56, not 54. And you know how I caught that? Here, let me tell you real quick how I caught that. For my remainder was 9. And if my denominator was 8, do you see I have an improper fraction? Again, that tells me I did something wrong. Okay? And so when I went back and looked at my problem, I realized 8 times 7 is not 54, it's 56. Okay? So it's 56. So 63 minus 56 is 7. So 17 and 7/8. But the question is, a full bag of dog food weighs 6.5 pounds. How much dog food do you have if there are 2 3/4 pounds? You have 17 and 7/8 pounds of dog food. If you're here to work, get something out. Don't stand there and look at me. You know what you need to work on. All right, last one. Number 5. On the track and field team, this is a multi-step problem, so stay with me. 3/8 of the members do the hurdles. Of the members who do the hurdles, 4/5 also do the long jump. If there are 40 members on the track team, how many do both hurdles and long jump? So here's the thing. You got to find 2 separate things. So first of all, on the track team, 3/8 do the hurdles. 3/8 of 40 people. Okay? So stay with me. So we're going to do 40 people times 3/8. And I'm going to rewrite this down here. Now I can cross simplify. If I'm looking at my factors paper, I know the greatest common factor of 40 and 8 is actually 8. So if I divide 8 divided by 8, I get 1. 40 divided by 8, I get 5. So 5 times 3 is 15. 1 times 1 is 1. Some of you are giving me answers that look like this. You need to still simplify. Anything divided by 1 is itself. So I get 15. Another reason why we need to really think about these problems is because they're asking how many members. So you would have a whole number because you wouldn't have you wouldn't have like part of a person, right? So you have, so here's what this represents. 15. 15 people do the hurdles. Of these 15 members, so of the members who do the hurdles, 4/5 also do long jump. So now, this is why we got to get both parts right. 15 times 4/5, because 4/5 of these 15 people do hurdles as well. Now do the long jump as well. So again, rewriting 15 over 1 times 4 over 5. Here we go again. If I cross simplify, 5 is the greatest common factor of 15 and 5. So if I divide both by 5, I get 1 and I get 3. So now I'm going to multiply 3 times 4 is 12. 1 times 1 is 1. But again, you can't have 12 over 1. You have to have 12. So the question is, what does that 12 represent? Let's go back to the beginning. On the track and field team, 3/8 of the members do the hurdles. That's our 15. Of the members who do the hurdles, 4/5 also do long jump. 15 times 4/5. If there are 40 members on the track team, how many do both the hurdles and the long jump? There. So we're going to make a sentence out of this because we're smart people. 12 people do long jump and hurdles. So I hope that you watch and review with this video and know that when you do this quiz tomorrow, you have to show work like I've done here. If you don't show work, you don't get credit. It's like our classroom assignments. I don't know if you've copied. I don't know if you're just guessing, but I have to see your work so that I know how to help you if you're not getting this correct. Okay, so happy studying. I'll see you tomorrow.